welcome to another video. I'm not very satisfied with my Enum solution that I made in my Enum video for Hermes. So today I'm gonna improve it a little bit. I've already improved it a little bit off camera and I'm gonna show you what I did. And if you're a new watcher here, what I did in the previous video was I implemented enums in my programming language that I'm working on. And today we're gonna fix it up a little bit because I'm not entirely happy with it. So I did a pull request to my own repository last night. And we can see here what I did. Use AST struct instead of void pointer. I actually opened an issue for it as well. So let's look at what I did here. Basically what I did was, we added this randomly accessible AST pointer here, but it was a void pointer before like this, which isn't really necessary because I know it will always be an AST struct, so I just changed the type of it basically. So let's get into it. The current implementation has this syntax: enum animal is equal to blah blah blah. Now I don't really like this actually. So there are multiple things that I don't like about it. For example, let's just recompile everything here. This syntax here, it sort of looks like an object, if I do object yo is equal to blah blah blah. It sort of has that same sort of syntax to it. But if you do something like this, print if I do something like that and run that, that will print an object, even though it sort of looks like an enum. I mean, it doesn't look like an enum, but it has that same sort of curly brace syntax to it. So I don't really know how to solve this, because what if I wanted to send in an enum like this? Then maybe one nice thing would be able to do something like that, and then I don't know. But that means I would also have to add change the syntax to something like this. And that makes it look like the syntax in C. So in some sense, this is more attractive because I want my language to sort of look like C. But that means I would also like to implement this type of thing. I don't know. But maybe I should start by changing this enum syntax so that it looks more like C. So I want it to behave like this. So at the moment this will not be executable. Unexpected token. Right. So let's just make it the syntax work like that instead actually. So that means I have to change a couple of things here. The interpreter doesn't support this syntax at all at the moment actually. Okay. So I think one thing I could do is to move this special case up here, because then we're not actually expecting a token equals. It's still a special case, so I'm going to put that comment here, because I might have more special cases like this in the future. Remove this, remove this. Okay. Parse enum. Right. And then actually, now this sort of behavior here, it actually, let me show you here. If I do string name is equal to John, what it's going to do is that it's going to allocate a string here for the variable name, and it can also be a function name. It depends on the syntax. And this is this, so it allocates a memory for it, and then it steps forward by eating an ID or expecting an ID. So when we get into this if data type enum, that name has already been allocated, and I don't really want to use that name, because in this case we're going to do enum dog, no, enum animal, no, enum animal, like that. Blah blah blah, which means that there is no variable name here, even though it has allocated memory for it, and there's no equal sign either. But maybe that's a good thing, because now memory has already been allocated for it, so now I can use that. Although it has been allocated for the current token type. So it will actually have the wrong size. But I see here that we already know the type here. So we could skip this if the type is an enum. Then we're not going to allocate memory for it, and we're not going to expect an ID, because we're actually not expecting an ID here. So what I would do is probably something like this. Char function name is equal to void. So we create an empty function name first, and then we do this. Then we're going to do if is t type, how am I checking it? Type value. If is t type value, no, string compare. So if it's not an enum, then we're going to allocate that memory. because this is of a special case. And as I said, we might have more special cases like this in the future. And we can actually do this. Unsigned in is enum is equal to 0. And we can do is enum is equal to 1. Then we don't have to do the string comparison again. So now we can do if is enum and if we have more special cases like this in the future, let's say I implement the same behavior for the object syntax, then I would probably change the variable name of is enum to something else. But for now it'll work because enums are the only one that has this type of behavior. Okay. So okay. Now we're assigning the function name to the variable name here, which doesn't really hurt at all because it's going to be a void pointer in this case. So inside here we know it's going to be a void pointer, so I can freely allocate memory for it. And the current token here after I've parsed the enum is going to be the name, actually, because if we do this enum animal, basically it's going to, we have already parsed this sort of data type up here, parse type, and then we get down to here, and then we go to is enum. Okay, it's an enum. Then it's going to parse an enum, and parsing an enum means that it's going to eat up all of these characters right here, which means that we have the animal token left. So the current token after we have parsed the enum is going to be that animal thing. So now we can allocate memory for it. So ist variable definition variable name is equal to calloc strlen Hermes parser current, isn't it current token? What? Current token value, yeah. Let's make this a bit bigger so that we can see better. Okay. Calloc Sterling Hermes parser current token value. +1 size of char. Now we can copy the current token value into it. Like that. Now, I don't want to, you shouldn't be able to have an equal sign after this, actually. I'm eating an ID up here, right? I'm eating an ID. Yeah, so we need to do that as well. Hermes parser eat Hermes parser to good ID. Okay, now I don't want it to ever be able to go into here, because if it's an enum, you are not going to be able, you're not gonna be able to do that. So maybe I should add an error checking here. Probably. If is enum type error. It's not really a type error though, is it? Let's just copy this and add another kind of error, I guess. Let's do that for now. I wonder if I should add it here. Now the error isn't very explanatory, but I'll work on. I have an issue for making better error messages, but we'll work with this for now. Parse function. And yeah, this function name is a bit misleading because it can actually parse variable definitions as well, not only functions. Anyway, Hermes parser syntax error. That's actually all I need to do. Okay. I wonder if this is all done. Will this work? Seems to work. Cool. So now it looks exactly like it does in C, which was what I wanted. So now you shouldn't be able to do this anymore. I wonder though, maybe it's actually possible to do this. Pretty sure it won't. No, it's definitely not gonna do that. Unexpected token animal. Yeah, it doesn't expect that to work. Cool, so now it actually looks like it does in C. I wonder though, can I do this? Okay, and you. That actually works. That's pretty cool. Okay, so now you can actually like pass in anonymous enum definitions within function calls. Okay. Can I print the animal still? Yeah, I should be able to do that. Cool. Now one last thing. I added the syntax error thing if I did something like this. So let's say I do that. Syntax error, line 6. Cool, so that works as well. All right, we changed the enum syntax to make it look more like C. And now I'm going to commit that. Let's see what my issue was. change enum syntax. I think it's better if the enum syntax looks more like it does in C. And it works now. So, and I should probably add a test for this as well. I'm going to make another video where we add a bunch of tests for things. Now this isn't usually how I work. Usually I like to write tests before I write my implementations. But you know, we're having a bit fun here, so. Okay, git status, git checkout B, change enum syntax, git status, git add all, git commit M, makes the enum syntax more like C, closes 34. There we go. Now I'm going to create a pull request to my own repository. Compare and create pull request. Looks good, looks good, looks good. Wait, one thing I want to try first is actually sudo make install. Yeah, the test still works good. Looks good, looks good. And no one else has to review this because this is my own repository and I'm the boss here. So I'm gonna create a pull request. Merge pull request, confirm merge. Cool, so now it should be in master. Merge pull request, enum syntax. Cool, so now if I check out in master, git fetch all, git pull all. It's all done. So we changed the enum syntax to look more like it does in C. Awesome. Now hopefully I can continue my curl porting videos. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.